Miss Robinson's class. I miss you guys. I hope you're working really hard for her and doing a great job. I'm going to read some books and help her out this week with some lessons. I have a story here I want to read to you called A Weekend with Wendell. And this week we're talking about how every story has a problem that needs to be solved, every fiction story. So as I'm reading, I want you to be listening and see if you can figure out the problem before I get to it, okay? On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us, said Sophie's mother, while his parents visit relatives out of town. Oh, boy, said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. After a snack, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. Well, what are we going to do now? Asked Wendell. Do you have any toys? Sophie pointed to her toy chest. Is that all you got? Said Wendell. I got 1,000,000 times more than that. What else is there to do around here? We could play house, said Sophie. Only if I can make the rules, said Wendell. So they played house and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children, and Sophie was the dog. He does not look happy. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. When they pretended they worked in a bakery, Wendell was the baker and Sophie was a sweet roll. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. At dinner, Wendell said that he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream off her dessert. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie in bed, zipped Wendell into his sleeping bag, and kissed them both and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shined it right in Sophie's eyes. See you tomorrow, he said, smiling. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to just herself. On Saturday morning, when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down on her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch, so they melted. I don't think he's a very good house guest. What do you guys think? At lunch, Wendell finger painted with his peanut butter and jelly. Isn't this fun? Said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. When is Wendell leaving? Whispered Sophie. Soon, said her mother. Soon, said her father. At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note from Wendell. It said, see you tomorrow. Sophie shut her eyes. I can't wait for Wendell to go home, she said to just herself. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance call. Is this the North Pole? He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror and toothpaste. This is a naughty little guy. And he gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. Want to go outside and help me wash this off? Asked Sophie. We could play firefighter. Oh, boy. So they played firefighter. And Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief. Wendell was the burning building. Isn't this fun? Said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything. Do I get to be the fire chief? Asked Wendell. Maybe, said Sophie. Soon, Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief and who was the burning building. Time to go, said Sophie's mother. Time to go, said Sophie's father. Already, said Wendell. Already, said Sophie. When is Wendell coming back? Asked Sophie. Never, said his mother. Never, said his father. That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, I hope to see you soon. I want us to think about this story and about the problem in the story. So if we think about Sophie, we know that Sophie had a problem, right? So if I think about, let me see, where can I find the beginning of the problem? Wendell came to her house, right? But he's the one who got to choose all the rules. So no matter what happened there, Sophie, Wendell got to choose the rules, right? He decided what they played, who they played, when they played, and he was naughty, right? So finally, that's my problem, right? Wendell came to Sophie's house and he made up all the rules, but then I looked for the solution. Sophie had a great idea, right? She invites him to be firefighter and gives him a taste of his own medicine, right? And he decides it's not that much fun when somebody else is making all the rules, right? So that's what I want you to focus on today. In your journal, I'm going to flip this around. All right. So in your writing journal today, I want you to turn to your first clean page. And I don't want you to get your own book, but I'm going to write my book. A Weekend with Wendell. And then I'm going to have problem and solution. So then I'm going to write the problem. The problem, oh, sorry, guys, I didn't realize that was so blurry. Sorry. The problem is Wendell comes to visit and he makes all the rules, right? He's not very nice to Sophie either, right? He is not kind to Sophie. He pulls her, he pinches her, he jumps on her bed, right? So this is the problem. She cannot wait for that guy to go home. So then I have to think about, well, what's the solution? How did Sophie solve this problem? So Sophie invites, Wendell to play firefighter. She makes all the rules, right? And gives Wendell a taste of his own medicine. Now he knows it's not that much fun, right? Okay, so what I want you to do in your journal today is I want you to read a book of your own. You can read on Epic, you can read on any site you like, but I want you to put the title, and then I want you to tell me the problem and the solution in your book, okay? What was the problem and what was the solution? Because every book has a problem and solution, okay? Can't wait to see your hard work. Bye.